We are standing on the precipice of an offseason that will either save the Cleveland Browns or send them spiraling into absolute chaos. I am telling you right now, the decisions made in the next few weeks are critical. We have a beloved Pro Bowler walking out the door, a frantic scramble to fix the offensive line, and a trade rumor involving Myles Garrett that is so controversial it might tear this fan base apart. The front office is under siege. You need to hear exactly what is happening in Berea before it is too late.
I have received confirmation from sources deep within the organization that a beloved Pro Bowl talent has officially informed the Cleveland Browns of his intention to depart immediately. This is not a negotiation tactic. This is not a drill. One of the most respected voices in that locker room, a man who has bled for this city and represented the dog pound at the Pro Bowl, is packing his bags before free agency even officially opens. From a transactional standpoint, this puts General Manager Andrew Berry in a precarious position. When you lose a cornerstone player this early in the process, it strips away your leverage and forces you to scramble for replacements before the market even sets itself. But let me switch gears and talk to you about the heart and soul of a football team. You cannot simply replace leadership on a spreadsheet. This is a catastrophic blow to the culture Kevin Stefanski is trying to maintain. When a player of this caliber decides he is done with your franchise before he even tests the open market, what does that say about the state of the organization? It screams that the belief is gone. It tells me that the people inside the building see the writing on the wall. We are talking about a guy who set the standard, and now that standard is walking out the door, leaving a massive void that no rookie can fill. The timing is absolutely brutal. The front office now has to rewrite their entire offseason playbook because they accounted for his presence, or at least his potential return, and now that safety net is truly gone. It is a massive failure of retention. But here is the scary part. This departure is not an isolated incident. It is actually the first domino to fall in a series of events that exposes a much bigger, much more dangerous problem on the offensive side of the ball. If you think losing a Pro Bowler is bad, wait until you hear about the absolute emergency unfolding on the offensive line.
We are breaking down every single move this offseason, and you cannot afford to miss a beat. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you are always the first to know the truth about the Browns. The situation at left tackle has officially reached a critical state of emergency, and the Cleveland Browns are finally waking up to the reality that they cannot wait until the draft to fix it. Multiple league sources have indicated that the front office is preparing to make aggressive, significant investments in free agency to secure a veteran blindside protector immediately. The strategy here is crystal clear. They want to stabilize the offensive line before the draft clock even starts ticking. Why? Because going into the draft desperate for a left tackle is a recipe for disaster. It forces you to reach, it forces you to panic, and it puts immense pressure on a young rookie to save your franchise quarterback from day one. Andrew Berry knows that relying on a rookie to protect the quarterback's blind side in the AFC North is professional suicide. They need a proven commodity. They need someone who has seen the stunts, seen the blitzes, and can stand tall against guys like TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson. This is not just about filling a roster spot. This is about survival. If you do not have a left tackle, you do not have an offense, period. The Browns are tired of the revolving door, and they are tired of seeing their quarterback running for his life. By attacking this in free agency, they free themselves up to take the best player available in the draft rather than drafting for need. It is a smart, calculated move, but it comes with a massive price tag. They are going to have to overpay because everyone in the NFL knows they are desperate. But let me tell you, money is the least of their worries right now. While they are scrambling to throw cash at a left tackle to stop the bleeding, there is a much more complex strategic battle happening behind the scenes. This free agency urgency is directly tied to a specific set of 7 critical questions that are currently haunting the front office as they prepare to head down to Indianapolis for the upcoming NFL Combine.
As the NFL world descends upon Indianapolis for the Combine, the Cleveland Browns are carrying a heavy dossier containing 7 critical questions that will define the future of this franchise well into 2026. This is not just about watching guys run the 40-yard dash in spandex. This is about an organizational philosophy that is currently under the microscope. The front office has identified 7 specific pivot points that will determine their entire draft strategy. We are talking about evaluating the depth of the offensive line class, assessing the durability of the top quarterback prospects available, and determining if the defensive interior has the talent to support Myles Garrett. These 7 questions are the roadmap for the next 3 years. If they answer them correctly, the Browns reopen their championship window. If they get them wrong, we are looking at a total rebuild. The intensity in Barilla is palpable because they know they cannot afford to miss. Every single interview, every medical check, and every drill at the combine is a piece of the puzzle. They are looking for mental toughness just as much as physical treats. They need players who can handle the pressure of playing in Cleveland. But here's the cold, hard reality check. You can have the best draft board in the world, and you can answer all 7 questions perfectly, but none of it matters if you don't have the capital to execute your vision. This focus on long-term strategy and the desperate need to plug holes has led to some uncomfortable conversations in the executive offices. It forces you to make difficult sacrifices. When you combine the loss of a Pro Bowler, the panic at left tackle, and the need to nail the draft, you start looking for assets. You start looking for ways to get more picks. And that desperation has birthed a rumor so explosive, so unbelievable, that it threatens to tear the entire city of Cleveland apart. Brace yourselves, because we have to talk about the unthinkable trade scenario that is suddenly gaining traction.
I cannot believe I am even saying these words into a microphone, but the whispers are getting louder and they are absolutely terrifying. There is a suggestion circulating among league circles right now that the Cleveland Browns should consider trading Myles Garrett. Yes, you heard me correctly. Trading the best defensive player on the planet. The logic being used by these analysts is that with the offensive line facing a mass exodus and the team needing significant draft capital to rebuild, moving Garrett is the only way to get the assets required to fix the offense. Let me be clear, this is blasphemy. Myles Garrett is a generational talent. He is the only reason this defense is feared. The idea that you would trade a future Hall of Famer just to plug holes on the offensive line is the kind of thinking that keeps bad teams bad. However, we have to look at the facts. The offensive line is crumbling. We just discussed the panic at left tackle and the Pro Bowler leaving. The roster has holes everywhere. If a team calls Andrew Berry and offers 3 first-round picks and a starting tackle, does he hang up the phone? Or does he think about the long-term health of the franchise? This rumor exists because the situation in Cleveland is dire. It highlights just how desperate the offensive line situation has become. They are looking at a potential total collapse of the protection unit, and desperate times call for desperate measures. But trading Myles Garrett? That is not a solution. That is a surrender. It signals to the fans that you are giving up on winning now. Yet, the fact that this is even a topic of conversation shows you how unstable the ground is beneath this organization right now. We started this report talking about a pivotal offseason, and nothing proves that more than the fact that the face of the franchise is being mentioned in trade scenarios. This is the absolute definition of a team at a crossroads, fighting to stay relevant.
This is officially the most turbulent moment in recent Cleveland Browns history. We are watching a franchise try to patch a sinking ship while sharks are circling the best player on the roster. The decisions made by Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski in the coming days will not just affect next season. They will determine if this team remains a contender or fades into obscurity. I need to know where you stand on this. Would you ever, under any circumstance, trade Myles Garrett to fix the offensive line? Or is that total insanity? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because I know the front office is listening. We are in this together, Dog Pound. Stay strong, keep your eyes open, and we will be back with more updates soon.